Well, see, I've got my street stock win replay saved. I've got all of Assassins replay saved. Got some of Anarchy saved. All of just replays.
Whew. All right. So now we're on the air. And you got all your replays saved. Paul, welcome to the Habbones channel. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing good. I hear you got a win tonight.
I didn't get a win, but my driver got a win.
I heard you got a win in the street stocks. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I took my first asphalt win in the rookie street stocks, but that's nothing to brag about.
Hey, a win's a win.
A win's a win, but you know.
But we're going to talk about your brain for the next 30 to 45 minutes. Because you got a podium finish tonight as a team.
I did. I can't take all the credit for that though.
Man, I was just holding the wheel. I was holding the wheel and controlling the throttle. That's about all I was doing. My brain cells were not working. Once you got on the mic and I knew you were in here, I was like, oh shit. Okay. I'm going to listen.
Well, I don't think where you've got it pulled up at right now, I don't think this is where I come in quite yet.
This is lap 32, and I remember talking to you at lap 25.
I don't think I was in here yet because you're still not a lap down.
Okay. So, but this next caution, I think, is where that happens, right?
Well, you didn't go a lap down until you pitted. So
Which
I think this is where you pit.
Yep.
This is where you get shoved off into pits.
Yep.
I wasn't in here yet.
All right.
Yeah, that 6 car was loose quite a bit of the race.
Yep. This is where that happens. So this is where I was talking about that recovery. See, he hits me because I checked up. We saved her. Ish. And
You still got some damage, but you know it is to be expected. And
yeah, and this is where I decided to pit. The pit was way better than last night, by the way. I didn't
because you got the most of them under caution.
Except this, I had to back up. Hey,
so that's why
I'll
you want
take
to lap down there, though.
I'll take it.
It is what it is. I mean,
I pit under green.
Yeah.
So, still, all right. So. I think this is where, because you were talking about whether I was clear to go up yet, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So, talk me through what you were thinking when you came in and seen this.
I mean, I was just trying to get you a decent finish. You were still, I think you were running 13th or 14th when I come in. A lap down, you were like the 4th car lap down, and ended up passing a few guys. And when that final caution come out for you to get your lap back, I know he's back in the race.
I'm glad you did, because I had no clue. I had no clue we were back in the race. I was, so you remember when we did this first one yesterday?
Uh-huh.
And I just said I'm going to be a good supporting lap car.
Yes.
So when I go a lap down, that's what I fully expect from myself.
Well, see, this is a little different than dirt, you know, with you being fairly new to the asphalt side of it, and you're already a higher I rating than I am. I've run a few more asphalt races as far as running in a crop, but that's not been 90% of my leagues or in hosted sessions.
Right.
I knew that with so few cars being a lap down, that it was inevitable unless it was going to go green from start to finish, that you was going to get your lap back. And I knew that if you could get your lap back, you could be competitive even without a setup, because we seen last night that even without a setup, the draft is your friend. Because them faster guys are just going to do nothing but pull you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I use the draft really well. I'm not going to say I'm an expert at it yet, but That's been my saving grace every night. The
Yeah,
last
I
two nights in a
mean-
row.
I mean, another one of our team drivers today, actually, he posted his first Xfinity race win. Tony Martin, he done. I wasn't there for that one. It was a little earlier for me to get up, but
Okay,
he
so at
did
this
get his first
point,
Xfinity. This, you should be on the lead lap right here, I think.
I think we are. It was, I don't know, it was a weird start.
Yeah.
Nobody was lined up properly, like you
Well,
would think.
it really helped that there was a bunch of people in here that wasn't really familiar with the classes and
Yeah.
was driving like an idiot. And
Driving
it really
like,
helped with,
driving
well,
like schoolboys.
yeah, I mean, apparently they think it's something that they're pulling a 53-foot trailer and it has to try to make corners as wide as they can or as low as they can. And that was a big problem. Where last night's race, the entire race was only 2 cautions.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
One of them being my fault.
Yeah, you know, that apron, it ain't no joke at Atlanta.
No, it's not.
I
Not at
mean,
all.
you get down on there and you ain't got no grip. You've got grip here on it, but as far as down in the corners, you ain't got no grip.
Yeah.
Car don't want to sit
So this
down whatsoever.
This is just damage control for me. I'm just trying to make up ground, which I think it takes me 2, 3, 4 laps to get up to this. I think it believes the 15 car.
Yeah. Well, the damage is really not helping you here.
No, it's not. But I didn't know how
Consistency
damaged it was.
in any class, consistency in any class is going to make it to where you can eventually catch the draft. And once you're able to catch the draft, you can do a lot more things. Especially when if this field ever gets lined out, if they would ever stayed lined out instead of racing each other, you would have never caught them.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. That was definitely a saving piece for sure. Because every time they come to the dog leg, they're all over the place. And it takes them until the backstretch to get it back together. And then even on the backstretch, they're wobbling.
Well, in the corners, they're lining out, you know, and for the most part, everybody's wanting that bottom side because the bottom side is fast here.
Oh, yeah.
But now, once you get to the back straightaway or the front straightaway, it's all spread out. I mean, see, and this was where I first come into the HCK deal was at Atlanta on their second week and ended up taking 5th in my very first asphalt race. And I pushed it 3 wide and ended up spinning, but I come across the line backwards in 5th.
So I know you can't hear it, but something you commented on last night, and you're seeing it here, is last night you said, I don't remember the exact words you said, but you were talking about how content I am.
Mm-hmm. It's patience. I mean, a lot of people don't have that. I mean, a lot of people are similar to what these guys are. They're trying to bob and weave through traffic, and they're not making no ground. Where you're observing the field,
Trying
and
to.
you're picking your lines. You're trying to figure out which line's faster. Just like right here, you notice the high line is not near as dominant, so you follow this 6 car, I believe,
Yeah, it's
down
a
to the
6.
bottom.
But even then, you can tell, like, the way everybody does that dog leg. Like, I just don't. I don't understand what going below the red line. I mean, I understand that it can be faster at points of the race. What I don't get, it jostles the car in such a way.
Well, see, whenever I'm driving, I don't like my wheel to shake.
No, me
Because
neither.
nine times out of 10, and you know, I'm not on a direct drive wheel like you are, or like Mike Tucker and all them guys are. I'm still on a belt driven, and anytime I hit anything, like iRacing Speedway was the world's worst. When you
In
dip
the
down in
Gen
the
6 cars?
When you dip down in the corners, it would shake the wheel, so it would throw you off on your entry points. Talladega, the tri-oval was the same way. it would just jostle the wheel just enough to where it would kind of throw you off just a little bit. It wasn't bad. It wasn't enough to where it would wreck you, but it would mess your entry points up.
Right. Oof. I'm glad that 8 car checked up. That'd have been another bad day.
There was another one. There was another one closer to the end. A 22 car. He had a run.
Oh, closer to the end of the race?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get to that one.
But then that caution come out, and
so this is if I remember correctly, this is where we are a lap down here.
Yes.
And you're telling me I need to get around the 18 car.
Yes.
And I'm trying
Because
to work the
side.
side.
It was you, the 6 car, and the 18 car that was a lap down. Well, the 6 car just bit the bullet right there in the wall.
I think he's still up there.
Is he?
Yeah, he's the very next car.
Okay. See, this is the caution that gave the 18 his wave around.
Yep. I can't remember. Did we stay out for this one?
Yes.
Yeah, this was lap 50 because we were talking about tires.
Yes.
You were asking how it
you
felt.
said you just pitted at lap 30, and I was like, you don't need to pit right now.
Yep. We're still puckered up back there in the back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so okay. Whoop. So this is where so in the back stretch, this is where we got to let a couple cars in. Yep. Yeah, it tells us we got to let some cars in. So I thought we were going to start out better. And then we end up having to let
The lead lap cars.
Yeah. All the lead lap cars by us. So we pull down the inside. And then I think I had to check up on this restart too.
Well, they're starting the race so far back. Normally
Yeah.
when you hit the restart zone, you take off.
Right.
The leader does set the pace here, so. And that's on him. He's bunching this field up quite a bit.
Well, so that like Tony was telling us about that ticker.
Uh-huh.
So last night I got a glimpse of that when we were on the outside pole.
Uh-huh.
And that it tells you have to maintain 55. So no matter where I started, because if you remember right, I was like behind the pole position,
Uh-huh.
off diagonally, and I couldn't boost it to get up next to him because once that thing ticks on, you have to maintain speed right there.
Oh.
So and the thing is, if you're in third, fourth, or back, you can't see that.
Yeah.
So I imagine that's why because everyone's probably going 56 to 62, somewhere around there, trying to bunch it up. And they're only allowed to go 55 or they get black flagged.
Yeah.
So I imagine that's part of the problem. This 22 car was fun.
Yeah. Well, see, this 14 car, he caused a lot of issues in this race.
No, yeah, he did. I don't know who he is, but he was the #1 complaint for a long time.
For quite a bit, and then
Yeah.
there was some choice words said that
Shouldn't be said
shouldn't be said, and
ever. So everything's muted,
uh-huh.
so nobody can hear it.
There was a lot of chatter going on that shouldn't have been. There was guys calling their lines out, which I respect that. They're trying to run respectful and
No,
try
and
to
see,
get the I rating up. But
that
for
is
the sake of it-
something I have absolutely noticed in the last 2 nights running asphalt is that there's half of the pack, right? I mean, you got a few bad apples, right? You're not going to get everybody's going to be, star-spangled athletes that respect and integrity. But you have a lot of guys.
There's the run that 22 car had.
Yeah, he did too. And he could have flattened us out right there.
Yeah, he could have added more damage to that rear bumper. Sure.
But there's just a lot of respect coming from a lot of these guys. You know, calling out lines, trying to get trying to fit in and work with each other.
Yes. Well, 9 times out of 10, these guys up front never called their line. It's the guys in the back
Yeah.
that are more here for the SR. And, you know, these guys up here are more working on their IR. Because the higher IR you're going to have, the higher IR you have, the better the racing's going to be.
Right. I agree. Yeah, we're totally using the draft here. Because I definitely didn't have the car to be running up here anymore.
Oh, no.
It was, I mean, she wouldn't, on her own, she was not going past 162. I had to be in line with the car or she started to fade off. Just like right there. I just fading off in the turn and everyone's catching up to me. But yeah, no, I respect the, I mean, I'm not going to say I've seen the most respect in these 2 Atlanta races I've done, but I will say there is far the minus the bad apples.
Right here had me worried because that car did not move.
No, yeah. I could see it in the peripheral screen.
And then
on my right side, I see him.
It really helped you out because, you know, it didn't bring the caution out. Something brought the caution out right at you. I'm not sure if it was that guy or if it's his 14 car.
Doesn't something happen like right to our top side on the back stretch?
I think it's this next lap.
Yeah, because I'm fading here. I'm fading fast.
Mm-hmm.
Because the six car looks way better than mine does.
Well, by the way, you used all 3 sets of your tires in 90 laps.
Yeah, remember that comment I said right before the race?
Huh?
What do you need that many sets? Bam! There it is. Yep.
That's what gave you what you needed right there.
Okay, so let's review that. What happens there?
Well, if you watch the past laps, he's been going. He's trying to cut the high line off because the high line's going to carry the momentum down the back straightaway.
Which wasn't that the problem everybody was talking about all night?
Yes.
Was the way he was driving and blocking?
He wasn't clear. You can see him literally drive up. Now, I don't know if he's trying to follow the 7 car there.
I think maybe so. That looked more like a follow than a block.
I mean, it's one of them situations similar to what yours was last night. Where you was following the car in front of you and he went one way, so you followed that way and he jumped back up.
Right.
That looked like a similar situation to that. But
yeah, 100%.
If you watch previous laps with the 14 car, he was consistently doing the same thing. On the exit of 3 and 4, he would drift up. On the exit of 2, he would drift up.
Yeah, you're right.
Because he's trying to take that momentum from that high line.
All right, so this is 62.
This is where you got your lead lap back.
Yep. So this is
what put us back in the race.
So we're talking a lot of strategy on board.
Yes.
All right, so I'll recap because I remember being in a panic.
Well, what's going through your mind whenever you get the lucky dog here? That's the real question.
So right here, I was freaking out because I knew I was coming up on needing tires.
Mm-hmm.
Fuel, we were running close. I think we had 4 laps more than what we were on.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if there would have been 2 more cautions, we probably would have ran out of fuel. I would assume. Right. So our strategy here. So we get the lucky dog, and I remember panicking because I was like,
You specifically said, what do I need to do? And I said,
yeah,
hit. This is when I come off of you, and this is what I love about iRacing, because I can, as a spotter, I can jump back and I can watch the pace car. So whenever
well,
the pace
because from
car
a
hits
pit
back
box,
straightaway, yes,
you'd be able to see that.
yes. So when the pace car gets to the back straightaway, I'm in your ear, hey, he's on the back straightaway.
Yeah,
And as he's coming, and I think we only took tires here, didn't we not?
yeah. So the last two pit stops were tires only. Which I will say, while driving and trying to make sure that's clicked off, that was a fun time.
Yes. And this is all your lead lap cars here in
Yep.
the pits. So we're trying to beat the pace car out of 4.
Yep. Oh, and then the other, was this the damage call?
No,
No, we weren't damage calling yet. No. I do remember freaking out though. I was like, do I pit? Do I pit? What happens if I get the lucky dog and I got to pit?
well we fixed that. See, in the pace car, if you pause it right here, the pace car's coming hitting the pit stretch or pit entrance.
Is it?
Yep.
I thought that was the last one.
Nope. If you'll click your helmet, go to pace car.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, we're coming out right there. Okay. Yep. All right. I gotcha. All right. So this is that weird one. Cause see this is what was kind of freaking me out during the whole thing.
Well, see, this guy here, he's got so much damage. He's just trying to stay out of the way.
Yeah. The old
And,
Cole Trickle running in front of us though. I don't know what he was doing.
Well, see, this is where I told you to go to the outside. There's not a car there. And
Yep.
iRacing specific and with iRacing, it's only going to give you a black flag if you pass somebody on the inside before the start strike.
Yeah. Yeah, so we make that call. I'm hesitant about it, but I do it.
If you didn't, you would have lost this draft.
True. Very true.
But because, you know, all the lead lap cars, a lot of them come in for tires.
Yep.
And this is where the draft really helped you out.
That and them checking up.
Yeah, and then this red car here, he got loose, got down on the apron, and he's going to drive all the way up. And he freaked a lot of people out. I don't know how it didn't save or how they saved it, but
They did. They did a damn good job, because you see them all spread like flies, like you hit the table full of flies.
And see, what I don't like about this track is the banking. There's not a whole lot there, but what cautions we did see, it didn't really mess us up a whole lot. You know, all the cars stayed on the wall with what banking was. You know, 9 times out of 10, you go to Daytona or Talladega or something along that lines, the cars never get up to the wall. They're always sliding down.
Well, unless it's, us going 3 wide.
Yes, but for the most part, this track, everybody was on the wall. I mean, everybody stayed on the wall and out of the way, or they went way down on the apron.
Yeah. Trying to remember correctly, doesn't the 16 does something soon, doesn't he?
Yes.
Because I'm trying to play nice.
Well, this is what I respect of you as a driver, because you pick your poison, you pick your spot, you pick when you're going to take somebody out, whatever. See, this is where I said go high to get around this lap car. The 16 right here, and he's going to come all the way back up the track. Smoke the one car, and it's going to put you in the wall a little bit, and that you had a little bit of front end damage in it, but it didn't render the car.
I think we might have had a little bit more than a little bit.
Yeah, this is where you had a little bit more.
Because this is where
leave it right there. Leave it right there. Hit Control Z.
What?
Hit Control Z. And that allows you to move around that car with your mouse.
Even with it moving?
Yes.
It's making it jump around. It ain't working. Maybe it's got to be paused.
It shouldn't.
Anyway, I'll do it the caveman way.
Oh, there you go. So you had a little bit of front end damage, and it wasn't horrible. It didn't really render the car a whole lot.
Yeah. Well, it was enough that it wasn't going to hold.
Yes, I mean, if he was out of the draft, it was going to screw you up.
Better than him.
Yes, definitely better than him.
We're better off. Better off than the 4. So, there's 14 car.
Yep.
I believe. Okay, yeah. So,
You're actually running P2 right now.
yep. But we fade.
We do fade.
This is where we fade really well. Because that 3, he was on
The 3 car
it.
had a good run. I mean, he
Yeah.
had fresh tires, and you had some laps on yours. And see, this is where we're fixing to make a call on the next caution that I wasn't really sure it was going to work. Especially with the way we got screwed on that restart.
You can hear the 7 lifting off.
Yeah. And that's a rule of thumb is anytime you're slower than somebody is hold the bottom line, make them drive around you on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, because you were telling me to hold the bottom,
Yes.
which was interesting enough with the 3 in front of me.
Mhm.
I wasn't gonna lie. This is where I thought we were gonna die out. You ever seen that? Oh God, is it the Kyle Larson meme
Uh-huh.
or clip where he's like, "I'm sorry, guys. Like, I suck as a driver," or whatever. Or,
Yeah.
paraphrasing, of course, because I don't remember what it is. But I'm not gonna say that's how I felt. But I definitely was like, our car doesn't have it. Like, eventually the 7's going to get impatient.
Well, I mean, he did get impatient. He still couldn't. In the corners here, the bottom line will always prevail.
Right. No, you need at least 3 cars on the top if you're going to make it run. And to pass on the top side, on that middle of the second line there, you need at least 3 cars to work together. And you're not even going to pass in the turn. It's going to have to be on the stretch. It's going to take 3 laps. I think it was normally what it takes.
Yes.
It takes about 3 laps and only one car.
He got impatient because he dipped up top. I think he had some help up there, but see, he didn't make nothing off of it. You're still being pulled around by the 3 car.
Oh, I had to. I couldn't do it. If I would have had nobody in front of me, we were done. I wasn't going to make it.
Then, if I'm not mistaken, we're fixing to get a caution.
Should be. Yeah, because even on the stretch there, I'm not getting pulled up to his bumper like I was before.
No.
So we're slowly fading. If the 7 was a little bit, I won't say smarter, because that's rude. But if he was thinking a little bit more, he could have side drafted the hell out of me.
Uh-huh.
And got up there.
And that's one of them things where it's a respect deal. I mean, and normally in officials you don't get that.
No, normally you don't.
But look at the difference in his car and look at the difference in your car. Your car went through the ringer a couple times. His car's still clean.
Just a little bit. I think he's got a little bit of push damage on the bumper.
Yeah, but it's not bad. See, we should be under caution here.
Yep. Yeah, so we go under caution. And yeah, this is where we'll back up because I remember we're rolling around, and I'm not.
And this
thinking,
is where I decided. You literally got right here, and I said,
Yep.
"Pit."
You're like pit.
I said because the worst you're going to fall back to is 6th.
Yep.
And
I thought the 3 was going, but he wasn't.
With fresh tires, I knew that you had a chance of winning this race. You was only starting 3rd row outside.
being on the lead
So
lap.
being on the lead
Yeah.
lap, that made a tremendous difference. And we only took tires here. We did not take fuel because we had enough fuel. When the caution come out, the first thing I told Carrie is make sure you're in fourth gear, because when you're running the lower RPMs, you save fuel.
Yep.
And say the 6 car will come with you, but the 6 car is lap down.
Yep. So this is where.
And I'm sitting here and I'm watching the pace car. This is where
Yep.
we're fixing damage. Pace car is just now coming out of 2.
Yep.
I think you only had like a minute and a half. If
Not
that.
even. Not even. I think it was a minute and like 3 seconds or something like that, which it takes them like a minute and 38 to get around the track.
Well, go back to your view, and when I tell you to pause it, pause it. When your car moves, pause it.
Got it. This is this is me sitting in the car too. I was on the gun, ready to go. Like, well, because the car, because I use the clutch. When I roll into the pit, the car, I always because I gotta shoot my clutch lower. I normally push them together, but the clutch doesn't reach far enough because it's a further depression.
Yeah, I can see you're just on the clutch.
Yeah. So I had it started.
Pause it.
All right.
Let's go look where the pace car's at.
You can see. Hang on. We'll play some
Hit
camera.
play.
fun.
You can watch it. You can watch you come out of the pits.
Hold on. I want to see. I'm giving people a view. So there's. Is it us there or us there? No, that's the
You're
14 car.
in this one right here,
That one?
the front one. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So that's us.
Hit play. You'll see it pull out.
All right. We're going to hit play. Oh my God. You gotta be at max speed when the green flag drops.
If you would have been one to green here, you would have been. It would have.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh my God, that's just too much fun. Oh, get back over there. Come on. All right. So now.
You know, we couldn't have called that any better.
Probably
because
not.
it fixed your damage. If we was just taking tires, you'd been fine. But I knew
it didn't fix the whole car.
No, it fixed
But
the aero damage, the stuff that needed to be repaired. Like
Yeah.
if you look in front of your car, it's not near as damaged as it was. You can done see the damage fixed in the front or in the rear, where the rear bumper's not caved in. So
Yeah.
this really helped with your aerodynamics because you were falling off so bad.
raise this up a little bit. Nope. Wrong one. Get her up there. All right, so this is where it says pass the 6 car.
This restart kind of messed us up because, see, we
Yep.
should have been up there. We should have started third row outside. You should have been up in front of a couple of these guys.
Yep, and it kept saying to get in front of the 6 car. But I'm not trying to mess up anyone's start. And then you were like, just go. Well, because of our strategy, being in 4th gear, if you watch close, what happens is I'm still in 4th. So I had to downshift into 3rd.
Here's my question. How many RPMs, see, and this really helped you out here too.
I went for it.
How many RPMs do you generally let this car run before you shift the gear?
I'm pretty close to redlining her.
I peg mine out. I mean, no matter what class what car class I'm in, whether it be Xfinity trucks, next gen, Gen 6, all of that, I peg it out before I shift.
Yeah, it's about to the point.
I think I run 9700 is where I shift it.
Yeah.
And I start my races in 2nd gear.
Yeah. So that, well, I do start in 2nd gear, but because I was so worried about the 6 situation, I had forgotten to downshift because normally right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
here-
Right here, I thought we was out of it because that restart was so bad. And if we would have been up here, I think there was a really good opportunity to where we could be leading this race within a matter of just a couple laps because your car would hold the outside and maintain momentum.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Now, what you do right here, this is pretty good.
I say I pass him there.
You used the draft to your advantage there, and you still
Yep.
haven't lost the draft on the straightaways from the 22 car.
Nope. That was honestly my plan in my head, though. I was like, I'm gonna ride it out on their bumper as long as I can, and then I'm gonna shoot around. Because I think this next.
See, now you've caught the draft. You're gonna start sucking up to them now.
Yep. Yeah, I wasn't lifting either.
I know.
I was like, because I think we have 4 to go right here.
I think so.
I think we had 4 to go.
I was counting each lap down. There was a time to be aggressive, and there was a time not to be, and this was the time that we needed to be aggressive. So, and I guess this guy thought you was gonna go with him.
Nope, no sir. It's not the time. We got 4 laps, man. I'm just using you up. I'll see you later. This is where I stole the bottom from the 7.
I thought he was gonna try to come back down.
I did too. I wanted to almost lift too. I was
See, the 3 almost gave you the bottom. Right here.
almost. So this is the white flag. It's the last lap. And this is where it always gets crazy.
And it did. I knew. Actually, I think you got one more. Or did you see the white flag?
That's a white flag. So right here is where me and the 3, I'm pushing a little hard. And I'm like, okay, I'm taking the bottom. And he cuts down. We make contact. 7 checks up. He rides him high. We stick to the bottom. There's our P3 finish. It
From
wasn't
0 to hero.
Well, I wouldn't say 0 to hero, but there was a lot of it's like you just said though. There was a time for patience
And a time to be aggressive.
And there was
that
time
was
to
the
be
most
aggressive.
I've seen you drive. And
Well, thank you for that. Are you saying I'm not very effective when I drive?
I'm not saying you're not effective if you're not aggressive.
Oh no. If you're talking effective in the point of aggressive, no. I don't get aggressive.
No, that's the thing is whenever you do get aggressive, that's whenever you drive, in these cars at least, that's whenever you do your best.
I appreciate that. Now tomorrow I'm gonna go be aggressive as hell. No, I'm just kidding.
You just gotta remember, can't be aggressive too early, because if you get aggressive too early, especially on a fixed setup race like this one.
Well, I was fixed.
Yes, that's
They
what
were
I'm saying.
open.
Especially with you being on a fixed setup, as this one was, then I mean,
This, I'm going to talk through this real quick because this could have had us out of the race.
yeah.
This situation could have had us out of the race because I let off the throttle, and I'll see if I can bump it forward. Right here. So I see what they do. I let off. And I pull
But you're
high.
not totally out of the throttle yet.
I'm not all the way out, but I'm not in the throttle enough to keep my momentum in the draft, right? And so I keep dropping throttle, I keep dropping throttle. And it's right here where I'm like, I'm going to shoot that gap, because if I don't make that gap, we're going to lose it.
Well, my biggest concern was that car down on the apron coming back up.
True. But
That was my biggest concern. But at this point in this stage of the race, I was pretty well content with watching you do whatever you needed to do.
okay, so we're still, can you see the throttle meter right now?
Yeah.
So we are all
Completely
the
out.
way out. Backfire. All the way to the throttle. All right. We're going still 134 miles an hour, but all the way to the throttle. All right. We stay out of the throttle for a good bit here. And this is where we decide. Because
Well, see, what gets
Full
me is
throttle.
the 11 car never even missed a beat. I mean, he was out of the throttle. He was very well paying attention.
oh, absolutely. Because he could have nailed me, and we could have made that.
Oh, he could have.
We could have made that a caution on restart.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it wasn't even a block. I didn't even realize he was back there.
Yeah.
Like, you know me, I don't look in the mirrors. Like, I'm just driving my line. So, but yeah, so that's, I mean, it always looks crazier when you're in the cockpit. Because when you look at it this view, that doesn't look that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But when you do this number and you're watching it, you see that happening at those high speeds. We're out of the throttle, boom, we're back in, and we're making it happen. I think
I don't know how the
that,
13 saved that. I do not know.
I mean, he did a good job. He did a great job
He did.
saving it. But that moment right there kept us in the draft.
Yes. Well, yes and no. You've
I'm
almost
out of the
lost-
draft. I'm out of the
you've
draft.
lost the draft here. But like I stated earlier in the cast, that you're a very consistent driver. You hit the same marks every lap. Your lap times are very consistent, especially here at the end.
Right. Yeah, say
I mean, you're every one of them are within a tenth.
yeah.
And so you're getting faster right here. From here to lap 87, you're faster.
Yeah.
This is where you catch the draft of the 15 car, and you're able to reel him in fairly quick. I honestly didn't think we had enough laps. I think if we would have had one more.
So you remember that night with Tony?
Mm-hmm. Which one?
The night I pushed, we were what?
Yeah.
How many? We were at Daytona. How many?
We were 20 seconds behind.
20 seconds behind, and I pushed you for what, the last 10?
Yeah.
Last 10 laps, and we caught Tony right at the
At the trial.
triangle.
He went down to the line, and I mean, if you wouldn't have been a lap down, then that would have been.
I would have won.
I mean, it's my background image. That's how cool that race was.
Yeah, but it's like that. You know, I had that thought in my mind right here. I was like, if I could do that,
If you would have had one more lap, it would have. You would have been a little higher up on the podium.
I think if I would have had one more lap, I would have actually chose, because I'll walk you through this here too, because the outside is always my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Because you remember,
Tires here.
right? If you remember last night, I could run the outside and nobody could pass me on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in the back of my pocket. And I'm thinking about it right here. I'm like, can I use the outside? But they had 3 cars.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the 7. I hadn't been around the 7 enough to know what he could do.
I think he would have went with you.
But it was too late, because I'm pretty sure this is it. This is the last lap.
You should be taking the white flag this time by.
Yeah, this
And
is white flag.
this is when I was sitting here thinking in my head, "Holy cow, we're actually gonna win this thing."
I mean, it's a win to me.
Especially right here on the back straightaway, when that 3-car goes high, I was like, "Holy cow, we're fixing to win this thing."
No, right there.
I was fixing to tell you, do not make your move until the tri-oval.
Yeah. No, but you know me, I won't.
Because he's blocking. You see what I'm
Yep.
saying?
I'll ride out the draft until the last second.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is right here in the dog leg is where you would have made your move, and that's whenever you use that red line.
Yep. That's the
Because
only time.
you have the grip.
Look, I mean, it's like I said before, I don't think, NASCAR does what NASCAR does.
Yeah.
They do what they do in real life. I know people in here that outqual you will use they'll cut that dog leg. They'll shoot under that red line. I just don't, it's a red line for a reason. And I don't need to cut the track to have a good line.
Clearly.
To me, it's just not smooth to me. Like, if you notice, my car jumped when I went below it.
Yes, because it's a transition. You're
So-
going from a little bit of banking. I think Atlanta on the front straightaway is like 2 or 3 degrees.
But it's enough at,
Zero.
160 miles an hour to jump the car.
Yes. I mean, it was a good race. I mean, you can't ask for anything better. You wasn't a lap down this time. You wasn't 5 laps down.
I mean, we went.
I mean, granted, you still
seventh.
ended up with the top 10. You still ended up with the top 10. I mean, last night.
Oh yeah, no. Never stop digging.
Yeah.
Like you're in it. I mean, that's one thing I figured out with even dirt racing lately. Even if I have to tow, and they go green, I'll go back out. I'll wait till they pass. I'll go back out and run. And there's 3, 4, 5 cars that still drop out of the race after that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you're in it to bank your I rating.
Well, I mean, perfect example. These guys that are 5 laps down, they were still in it. But now,
Oh yeah.
from 7 laps, I think the guy that was 7 laps down was still in it. But for the most part, everybody from 11 laps down back weren't in the race no more. So, I mean, either way you go, you was guaranteed a top 12.
Yeah, but we weren't in it for a top 12. You know that.
No.
We're gonna.
I
we're
want
gonna
to go
pour it all
run
out.
another one.
You want me to run another one? It's I mean, I will. This is only my first time in these.
Mhm.
So, and the only reason we're running this is because it's the only MRP I have.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's obviously going to be more of this to come.
Oh, definitely.
So,
This is where I'm shifting my focus to. Is
being a crew chief,
this aspect of it, of the asphalt side.
being on the pit box.
Well, yeah.
Well, I won't say being on the pit box. I would say, because when I met you, we'll shift the axis over to you for a little bit. When I met you, it was all about the Dirt Assassin stuff.
Yes. And I've kind of changed gears. I've lost a little bit of interest in things, and I'm trying to bring the fun back in it before I get completely burnt out on it. And with iRacing, you've got multiple options of it. You can go in and you can run asphalt, oval. You can go run road courses. You can go run Wild West and stuff like that, or you can go take a midget and run Kokomo.
Oh, the options are endless, it seems.
I mean, and it's hard to get burnt out on something whenever you've got so much to replenish from.
Mm-hmm.
And you go over to the dirt side of it and you jump into an official. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be 10 times worse than this race ever was. It doesn't matter if you go into an A-class race. 9 times out of 10, there's going to be somebody that tries to dump you. You see it in the Pro Series.
Oh,
What got me turned on to the asphalt side of it is I've got a buddy, Zach Dylan, he runs HCK. He's like, hey man, why don't you jump in this Cup Super Speedway series with us? He said, I'll pay your way. He said, all you need to do is show up. I just need somebody to push me. I said, okay.
Hell yeah.
I said, I'll do it. Okay, I ain't got nothing better to do. I was actually race controlling for Brandon and them, and like I said, the dirt side of it, it's fun, but I've done so much of it that I began to get burnt out on it.
I could see
And I
that.
went in there. I went in there, and both of my teammates, Zach and Dusty Smith, both of my teammates did horrible at this exact track in a Gen 6 car. And I come in there and I'm battling for the lead. I'm missing wrecks, and it was fun.
It relit the fire.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the past 2 weeks, even on the dirt side of it, the dirt street stocks, I've had a blast all season long. And now that the season's ending, it's kind of bittersweet because that class has always been fun.
Oh,
And that's what that whole class was brought in for, was just to have fun.
I'd say the street socks have a different
Now
atmosphere.
you go into like a C class or D class official, unless you've got a crazy I rating, you're not gonna have fun because you're dodging wrecks all the time.
Right. No, I agree. I had a my my climb to it was interesting because and it's like, we've commented a few times so far throughout the show. I'm patient,
Mm-hmm.
right? That literally, I banked safety rating like you would not believe. I think I did 2 time trials at some point throughout trying to build safety rating to get to the SLR side
Mm-hmm.
because that's all I wanted to do. And what I realized was I'm terrible at time trials
Mm-hmm.
because there's nobody to race.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not pushing the car to its potential. I'm essentially putting around the track
Yeah,
compared
and
to everybody else.
that's why I always have the bad luck in the dirt aspect of it. Asphalt, especially with super speedways, you mash the gas and you turn left.
Oh,
In the
yeah.
qualifying aspect of it, because super speedways you don't lift.
No,
And then you go to the dirt side of it, and
it's all throttle control.
I can lay down some fast laps in practice, but whenever I go out there by myself and qualify, I'll suck it up every time.
Oh, I'm terrible at qualifying.
I hate qualifying.
I become a great pack racer just because I
And,
always start in the
and,
back.
I take the fact that I can run a dirt street stock in some of these rough lobbies,
Yeah.
and I take that into accreditation, because I come over here and my very first asphalt race I take fifth.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I say my first asphalt race, but we'd kind of played around with SK modifieds and the super late models and some of the ARCA cars and stuff like that. But
Well, and the thing with me is because I remember you talking to me about getting into asphalt stuff,
hmm
and we were trying to plan that. And the thing with me is short track driving.
hmm
I love short track racing because it's hard as hell.
hmm
Like there's no bigger challenge than getting your brake bias right. Then
yes,
it's not just throttle control at that point; it's brake control, right? And
yes,
it's the moves you have to make and how precise you have to be on hitting your marks on a short track race in a super late or late model stock, or just even when you use the modified tour cars.
hmm
How precise you actually have to be in those cars on those specific tracks is you you got to be in it.
yeah.
Like it's not a half-ass effort.
No, I mean, you mentioned the the modifieds. We run a lot of Phoenix in the SKs,
Oh yeah, ton
and you know, Phoenix, you can almost run that track wide open.
in the
It was
SKs,
more,
100%.
yes, yes. But then you go somewhere like North Wilkesboro, and you're not running that track wide open.
Oh, nope. No. And it's too rough.
Yes.
You know, and the greatest thing about that, you know, them scanning that and bringing that into iRacing, huge shout out to, you know, Dale Jr. and all them for that one.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing for that is you still have, you know, I don't know because I've never actually raced North Wilkesboro in a real car.
Mm-hmm.
But the bumps and stuff that you feel in there, like there's certain marks that you hit, and those actually are cues for things in your mind to know when to get in the throttle, when to get in the brake. Like I think it's in the entrance of 1, you get that bump that if you're on the brake just right when it happens, it kicks the ass end out right. It's somewhere on that track. I've done it, and it throws me off every time. Like I'm never prepared for it.
Reason that they went ahead and added the North Wilkesboro, and I'm a firm believer in this, is, you know, where's the All-Star race at this year?
Oh, North Wilkesboro.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they are updating the track. I think
Yes. It is no longer
the
old
asphalt's staying.
surface. It's no longer the old surface.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I thought
They're
they just
they're repaving
redid
it.
the surface on the very bottom and the top where they had to put in the new wall. I thought everything in the middle was staying for the tire wear purpose.
My understanding of it was that they was resurfacing it.
I don't know. We don't know about that. I'll
That's
go
similar,
look it up.
that's similar to Fontana. You know, Fontana, they're resurfacing the track.
Oh, they're tearing that down.
Or are they tearing it down?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like a. I don't even remember. I remember them talking about it. It's gonna be half the distance or less than it is now.
Yeah.
But anyway, Paul, you got a podium finish tonight, man. That was on you.
I mean,
That was your brain in there. I will take credit for shooting the gap. Right, where we needed to.
you drove the car. I mean,
Toward the end, I started driving. I think before, and it was like I said earlier when you came in, I was just driving the hell out of the top because nobody would let me down in before you came in on the mic.
because you didn't know, you know.
Well,
It's
like
it's a world of difference between the iRacing spotter, because all he's going to do is, hey, he's going to tell you there's a car inside. He don't know that you have the room to get to the bottom.
right, 100%.
Because if you've got a car inside, he may not. His nose may just be right there at your bumper. That if you come down, before you know it, you're doing cookies in the middle of the corner.
Yeah,
Whenever you have a real person in there, you can be like, hey, you're clear all around. Shoot the gap, get it low, or whatever it need be.
yeah. No, I mean,
And you know, that last caution, that helped tremendously. You know, I mean,
oh, that was the money call.
mm-hmm.
You know, that pit now. That was it. If it wasn't for that and telling me when to go, because I was like, are we fixing damage? Or are we not fixing damage? I think me being in your ear a little bit about the damage though made you.
Well, I didn't know how bad the damage was, and I didn't know it was that short a time. Whenever you went into the pits and the pace car was in one, you know, that's a big difference. That's well over a minute before he ever gets to the starting stripe. So I mean,
Yeah. No, we had finished when I took off from that, we had finished all damage.
yep.
Everything was fixed. Well, not completely fixed, but as fixed as it'll let it be.
Yeah.
But
Which I know you didn't have a tremendous amount of damage. You know, that one incident where it shot you to the wall or whatever, that was
that could have been way worse though too.
Yes, it could have. You know, it's one of them things that David Garman says it best. It's hindsight 2020. You've always got to keep your head on swivel. You've got to think of what they're doing before they do it.
Yep, I agree with that.
And you know, I've taken that into a lot of consideration when I drive now. Is I try to watch what's going on around me, much less than what I do when I'm racing.
I mean, in this race, that was crucial.
Yes,
I had to watch what was going on.
and
Like,
it really helped. Like with you, is you've got a guy in your ear saying, "Hey, this car's getting loose," and da da da. Where normally you don't have that. You could just focus on driving tonight.
right. I agree. Makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Paul, we've hit an hour. We've talked about this for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we managed to do it. But, Paul, thank you.
Yeah, no
Great
problem.
Fred. Great crew chief. We're going to do this. This is going to be a thing. This is going to have to be a new segment. Has
I mean,
to.
let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. What are you gonna do
Uh,
when I actually get up to this class and able to race with you?
I'm going to not be in the car. And the first couple, I'm going to crew chief you.
I mean, that works.
Because fair is fair. And you got to pay your dues. And since you're paying them while I'm out here doing it, I'll pay them when you get up here.
I ain't worried about it.
I'm worried about it. But I think by that time, I think Tuck, Tony, because Tony's already up here.
Tony's already up here.
Yeah, Tony's already in this class. By then, we might have all of us in there. So it might be one night out of the weekend. It was like that team series I was talking about to you. What we might have to do is two of us are going to crew chief the one night while two of you race, and then we'll flip-flop it the other way.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, you've seen what happens when we get all of us on a track. trying to draft each other and go hammer.
I know how Tony works, and Tony is content with running second to anybody as long as it's a teammate.
100%.
He will push you from start to finish, and he is not greedy. He will not step out of line to try to take the win.
No, I mean, there's no need to.
I watched it first. I watched it firsthand. I mean, at Talladega, we put three of four cars in the top three positions.
Yeah.
And we run top four most of the race.
No, we do some good work. We do some very good work when it comes to
Well, it's really
super
helped that
speedways.
we've all grown together. We all started at the bottom of the barrel pretty much. We all started on iRacing about the same time, and we've run enough together. We can judge what each other's going to do before, without knowing what each other's going to do.
Oh yeah, there's. I mean, I've noticed that after a couple times I run it like Dega.
Mm-hmm.
It got to the point where you could just you knew the line they were going to choose going into a turn in a pack.
Yep.
Like it's like, all right, he's gonna do this. I'm gonna be ready for it.
So that's like tomorrow is HCK's at Daytona.
Oh, there you go.
So that's gonna be a good race.
Yeah, you guys are
That's
gonna
gonna be a
kill
good
it.
race. We're gonna try to maintain top four positions there too.
Hey man, we might have to host some pit box for that too.
I mean, we can.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But Paul,
I can always save the replay, but it's just gonna be.
Hey,
it's fun. I mean,
we didn't record this one.
No, I mean,
you remember
I
was like, you were like, hey, save that replay, and I was like, you're right, because I wasn't recording when I did this.
Yeah. I mean, it's always nice because you can always go back, and you're still through iRacing, so you can always go back and review it. You can still swap cars. You're not focused on just one thing. So we could go back and we could watch where the pace car was when I was telling you to come out of the pits and all that stuff.
Crucial. All the crucial stuff. Well, Paul, I appreciate it.
No problem.
So much. You got any shout outs, my man? Anybody you want to think out there?
I mean, not really. I mean,
no? All right.
No.
Well, Paul, I absolutely and 100% thank you and the entire team for all the support, especially for you coming out here late at night.
Well, it's because I don't sleep at night.
Yeah, me neither. That's why I'm up.
Well, you're the closest one on my sleep schedule. That's because you're in a different time zone.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's what time there?
It is 0:40.
It is 3:30. 3:40 here.
Yeah. So. But you work in them seconds now.
Yep.
So you use up.
Yep.
But all right, Paul. We're gonna figure. Maybe we'll go do some more racing. Maybe somebody's gonna take a nap. I don't know which is gonna happen first. You sound like you might want to take a nap.
I'm going racing.
You're going racing. It's too good. It's too good.
Carburetor Cup is at Talladega at 5.5 minutes.
All right. Well, folks, Paul's gonna say goodbye. I'm gonna say goodbye. We're gonna go run some Carburetor Cup. Maybe we'll run it together. We'll push each other to the win, one way or the other. Anyway, Paul, thank you so much. Thanks for coming in and helping us get the podium here. Everybody stay safe, kick ass, and we'll see you all on the next one.